Hi there, and welcome to episode 2 of the Functional Cantina. I'm Candice Ray, and I'm so glad you're here. I know it's been a minute since my episode 1 came out, but nonetheless, I am here today. So thank you for joining me. I just want to preface this episode with a little note. If you are not in the right headspace today, if you're having a difficult day, if it's an emotional day, I suggest maybe you put this episode on pause. We're going to be talking about some difficult information. It's going to be a difficult conversation. So yeah, it's okay if you want to hit pause and come back later. So if you're new here, I recommend you check out episode 1, but if not, just as a recap, we talked about how my husband was in a catastrophic accident caused by a drunk driver. And that accident changed the rest of his life. What I didn't share then is something that I will be sharing today. Today I want to talk about the other people that were in the vehicle. So my husband was the driver, my mother-in-law was a passenger, and my husband's aunt, my mother-in-law's sister, was in the back seat. And so, again, in episode 1, I talked about how my husband had some major injuries happen. His left leg was in a complete cast. His right leg has pins and rods all the way down to his ankle. He had exploratory surgery done on his chest, I'm sure because they needed to stop the bleeding. And so he has a scar that runs up and down his chest, a pretty large scar. He does not have a belly button because of that. So yeah, he has daily reminders of this accident through his physical scars, through emotional and mental emotions, and through just, as you can imagine. He was in the hospital for months, so that tells you how severe his injuries were. So his aunt was in the back seat. I know she did sustain injuries. I don't know how severe they were, but I can imagine that they were as well severe. I don't think they were as severe, but I don't know. And I'm not going to talk about her injuries because I don't know. I don't know the story through her lens. I will, so I can't say. Maybe one day I'll be able to talk to her. I just haven't been able to figure out how to approach that. It's a very sensitive topic for my husband to this day. The accident happened in 1999. So I don't know. It's hard to talk about. As a matter of fact, I've been wanting to release this episode for a very long time. But of course, fear sets in. Fear of what other people may think. Fear of just fear in general. But anyway, so yes, his aunt did sustain injuries. She was in the back seat. And his mother was in the passenger seat. Unfortunately, his mother died on the scene. The impact was so hard, so strong, um, that that unfortunately she died on the scene. So my husband was involved in a catastrophic, tragic accident caused by a drunk driver. My husband was in the hospital for months. So when my husband told me that he hasn't seen the recording of his mom's funeral, I didn't quite understand. I didn't at that moment. This was years ago, and I've known my husband for about 16 years. I couldn't get it. Call me dumb, but I couldn't get it until it dawned on me. Okay. Yeah, my husband was in the hospital for months, and what typically happens after a death? There's funeral, there's burial, um, all of that. So unfortunately, my husband, he couldn't attend any of those services. And to this day, he still has not seen the recording. And I don't think he ever will, to be honest. So this accident has taken so much from us, taken so much from him. So there were thoughts of, I should have gone a mile slower. What if I was going slower? What if I was going faster? What if I took the scenic route? All these what ifs. So he lives with the guilt of not being able to see this accident coming. He was a driver. I'm sorry, but nobody can ever see what's going to happen when a drunk driver hits you straight on. I don't think your reaction time is fast enough to avoid anything. So he lives with that guilt, although it wasn't his fault, and was not his fault at all. He lives with so much anger. Unfortunately, consequences were not faced. So there are a lot of emotions that surround this accident. And many times I find myself thinking, what if this man had different options that night? What if alcohol wasn't so ingrained in today's society, and in the society back in 1999, and in the society back in 1985, and in 1977, as far back as alcohol has existed, and it's existed far longer than we know. And although I do not condone the actions of this man, and I strongly feel that consequences should have been met, should have been faced, I always find myself wondering, what if there were more options? And I think we can all agree that this is a problem. It was a problem back in 1999, and it is still a problem now in 2026. So instead of sitting on the sidelines and pointing out the problem, I have to be part of the solution. There's really no other way. And so that's where Kava Cantina comes in. That's why Kava Cantina exists. To give people different options. Now let me go back to what this accident has also taken from us. My husband has 6 beautiful children that unfortunately my mother-in-law has never physically met. And I say physically because she isn't here physically, but I definitely know she's watching down on us. I definitely know she has been our guardian angel all these years. But sometimes it's hard to see that or understand that. The only memories my children have of their grandmother is at the grave. So during holidays or during times where we go and visit, we currently don't live in the place where she's buried. We live about 4 hours away. So every time we visit, we go to the cemetery and we clean up her grave. There's grass has been planted and grass dies, so we have to manicure it and just try to make it look as nice as possible. My husband hates when people place fake flowers on her grave. And I know it's not done I know it's done with good intentions, but my husband hates fake flowers. So he'll take away all the fake flowers from her grave. We try to put living plants around her grave. Although it is so dry where she's at, it just seems like everything dies because the city doesn't really do a good job of watering the cemetery. Don't even get me started on that issue. But those are the memories that we share with our kids together, is going to the cemetery. Unfortunately, it's really hard to talk about my mother-in-law. It's very hard for my husband to talk about her. It's still very painful for him. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't think you ever get over something like that. As it is, it's hard to lose a parent. But to lose a parent in such a tragic way, I don't care how much counseling you get throughout the years, how much you talk about it or you don't talk about it, how much you try to navigate through life trying not to think about it. You never get over it. I've lived with my husband for many, many years. Like I said, I've known my husband for about 16 years. And so I've seen him progress. I've seen him struggle. I've seen when he's happy. And let me tell you, it's not the happy that both you and I are used to. It's a happy, but still something missing. This accident has made my husband question everything about himself. His worth, his love, his physical abilities. And I don't think anybody has realized how this accident has impacted his life. And all of this has been caused by alcohol. So, some of y'all may be wondering, well, did my husband stop drinking after the accident? Or because of the accident? Or did he ever drink? Yeah, my husband drinks. Now, he doesn't drink a lot. But yeah, he loves his whiskey. And you're probably asking, well, do you drink? Do I drink? I did. And I don't know why, when my husband told me about the accident, why I didn't stop immediately. Well, maybe it's because alcohol is so ingrained in our lives. It's socially acceptable. It's how everybody hangs out and has a good time. And so it wasn't until about a year ago I decided that I was going to part ways with alcohol. And now I didn't do it overnight. Well, I kind of did, because at this point, alcohol really wasn't serving me any good. It never did. But now it really isn't. It's doing more damage than good. Well, quote unquote good, right? It never was good. So yeah. Yeah, I see this accident through my lens, right? And through not the lens of my husband, because I don't care who you are, uh, you'll never understand the depth of this accident. I, you know, none of his family will understand what he went through, what he's going through, what he will always go through. And I have my opinions on how people have misunderstood him, how family might have misunderstood him and continues to misunderstand him. But just know that despite whatever you think, my husband is the strongest man you will ever meet. You know, the trajectory of his life definitely changed because of this accident. And some choices that he made were not the right choices. But he definitely has risen above, and he's such a great man. He's a great husband. He's a great father. He's a great man. And if people just would take a step back and really analyze everything that he's been through and the way he's had to navigate through life, maybe, just maybe you'd understand. Not 100%, because you were not there. You are not him. But maybe you would understand. And I always tell my husband, your story is worth telling. Every bit of it. But he just doesn't give himself enough credit. And I try every day to make him see what a great man he is. But but it's hard. It's hard. So, like I said, I have to be part of the solution. Unfortunately, he was not the first person that this has happened to. He will not be the last person that this happens to until we really start making changes. And so here comes Kava Cantina. We are going to make changes. And although it's taken a little longer than anticipated, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. And we have really great plans. but I can't tell you just yet because those are secrets. So yeah, if you're ever in San Antonio, Texas, check us out. Although we don't have a brick and mortar, we do pop-ups every so often. So if you're in town, check us out. And I encourage you to follow us on social media. Kava Cantina has Instagram, Facebook, and if you're interested in following my journey, I have an Instagram. So yeah, this is why Kava Cantina exists. Because I'm tired of pointing fingers as whose fault is it, this back and forth conversation we have as a society, and we just need to start providing more options for people, whatever that may look like. Alcohol is not the answer, and it has caused some major havoc in our lives from both angles. So, thank you for giving me space in your day, time of your day. I appreciate it. And I really hope to be here more often than I have been. So anyway, I hope you have a great day today and stay tuned. Bye.